Alright, welcome to my live tour using Google Earth and PowerPoint. This was a fun exercise and I hope you enjoy it. So the tour begins in 1991 in Celaya, Mexico, where I was born, and I just love this little city. 500,000 people, but it has been a big part of my life. When I was 2, I learned to swim, so I was already able to kind of walk, but I learned to swim really young. Then when I was 3, I won my first medal in the 15 meters with board, and after that I just kept swimming, but I also did some other sports like ballet, gymnastics. I had a lot of fun doing all these things, but there came the time where I had to decide and just stick to swimming, which I did in the same school. I learned to swim. I also did the kindergarten, elementary school, junior high, and my high school. So until I was 18, I stayed in the same school that I entered when I was 3 years old. Just as a fun fact, I entered to this school to swim at 2, and then my mom liked it for school, so she put me in actual school at 3. So I've been in this school since I was 2. Then in 2004, I went to Dominican Republic, where I won my first international medal. It was in the CCCAN, which is the Central American Championships, not games. The difference between the championships and the games is that the championships is for age groupers, which I was 14 at that time, and the Central American Games is actually the real thing, where there's no age groups. You just go if you're fast, which thank God I did in 2005. It was in Cartagena, Colombia. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I was to be able to be part of the national team, of the senior national team for the first time. And with 15 years of age, I was dealing with guys of 30 years, with girls of 28. So it was such an experience. I was really close to my mom, so that was the first time like I really separated from my coach and went into the big national team, and it was such a big experience. Then in 2006, I had the opportunity of going to my first Junior World Championships in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and in 2007, the big change came with my first Pan American Games, where I got to be in the final, which with 16 years of age, no one thought I was going to do it. And it was really fun to represent Mexico in that. In 2008, I was 1500ths of a second far from making the Beijing Olympics, but I still got to some swimming meet, and it was the second Junior World Championships, which were hosted by Mexico, which was a really good experience to be with my people and get the cheers from my family. In 2009, I got my huge big world meet, the first one, which was the World Championships in Rome. Then in 2010, my life changed when I decided to move to College Station and study with a swimming scholarship at Texas A&M University. I got a chance to do this for 5 years because I redshirted on my sophomore year, and you guys will know why later in the little experience in Google Earth. But it was quite a decision, and it was the best decision of my life. If I had to take it again, I would do so. In 2010, also, I competed in my second Central American Games in Puerto Rico. Quite a good experience because already being to Cartagena in 2005, it made it so much easier to just race, and I was already 19, so it was a good experience. I had so much fun, and I got to start leading the team, even though I was still young. I started being one of the big girls in the swim team, and in 2011 I just raised the level and became finally the top swimmer in Mexico. Um, in Guadalajara, Pan Games were hosted by Mexico this time, and it was such a big crowd. My coach said he has never heard such a loud crowd in his life, and he has been coaching for more than 50 years. So there you go. 2011, I got to go to my second World Championships, my big World Championships in Shanghai. I got to break a national record over there in the 50 freestyle, and then in um, 2011, right after that, coming from that meet, something happened. I had a bike accident and I broke three vertebrae. I fractured my column, and this was such a big impact in my life because it was just a year before the London Olympics, and as you can remember, I just told you I was 15 hundredths of a second far from the cut I had to do in 2008 for Beijing, and I couldn't believe this was happening in 2011. So I could have not gone to the London Olympics, but thank God it did not happen, and I was there. I had the biggest honor of my life of representing Mexico in the 2012 Olympics. The best, absolutely best experience of my life. And then in 2013, being the captain of the Mexican national team, I was able to break four national records in the World Championships, which was my third ones, and it really made a big difference to be able to be the leader of the team. Uh, then in 2014, we were able to host Central American Games in the country. It was a really cool experience to have all my people again, but now as captain of the team and the media knowing I was the leader of the team, it was such a responsibility. And thank God I was able to get four medals over there. Um, I came back to College Station that year in 2014 to graduate from my bachelor's in urban and regional planning from Texas A&M. Huge honor. My coach was able to be in my graduation. And then next year, I went to Toronto to represent Mexico again, now in Pan Am Games. I was able to be the captain of the team again, and it was one of the best experiences of my life too. Right after that, I went to Turkey to represent Mexico, not in the pool, but in something a little bit different. The Minister of Exterior Relations made a contest for Mexican youth between 25 and 30 years of age to represent Mexico in the G20 summit, which was the actually Y20 part of it, the J20. And we made a communique that was lately read to the 20 presidents that compose the G20. As you know, it just happened and it was in Turkey in November, and the 20 presidents of these countries were there, and big decisions were taken. Right after this, I just took a little quick trip to the Greek islands, just to have some fun, to learn a little bit more about the world, not too much about the swimming pools, but more about the world. And I didn't tell you, but in Toronto, I was able to qualify to the Olympic Games of next year of Rio. So I am already qualified. I know I'm already going, and that's a big advantage for me and for Mexico because we get just to train for the actual meet. It's a big responsibility too, and it makes such a good honor, and I'm really proud to be part of this meet. Finally, I came back after Greece to home to keep studying and to challenge myself to see what I can do in Rio and try to get into that final, and why not try to fight for a medal. So this is my story. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, it all started here, Celaya, Mexico. It went to College Station, the big decision of my life of attending Texas A&M, and ended, of course, with me trying to graduate from my master's in property development and trying to do something good in next year's Olympics. Thank you for listening. Thanks, Anki, again.